Colorado, a name that instantly evokes images of the majestic Rocky Mountains, clear rivers, and outdoor adventure. However, beneath this postcard-perfect scenery lies a darker narrative, a tale of greed that led to tragedy, unimaginable violence, and restless spirits trapped by the promises of 19th century gold. Today, we won't be chasing views, but instead, we'll be heading to places where the past refuses to die. Here are the 15 most haunted small towns. Prepare yourself for a journey into the true heart of horror in Colorado, where the old wooden walls still whisper stories of death. We begin in St. Elmo, one of the best preserved and most photographed ghost towns in America. Established in 1880, this mining town reached its peak with a population of around 2,000 before being abandoned when the railroad was shut down in 1922. Despite its well-maintained buildings, St. Elmo is far from peaceful. One of its haunting legends centers around Dirty Annie, or Annabelle Stark. Annie was a woman who, after the death of her cruel mother, became isolated from society and spent the rest of her life wandering with a rifle, watching over the town she loved. Visitors and paranormal investigators often report seeing her spirit. Sometimes she is seen holding a weapon, patrolling the old buildings. She aggressively refuses to leave what she believes is her responsibility. However, not all spirits choose to remain in well-preserved towns. Independence is a tragic ghost town, its story etched with desperation. Founded in 1879, this mining town symbolized hope until it was ravaged by a brutal winter in 1899. The residents were forced to flee using makeshift skis, leaving almost everything behind. What makes Independence especially eerie is its acoustic hauntings. Modern researchers have recorded some of the clearest residual ghost phenomena, not just apparitions, but disembodied voices having desperate conversations, echoing through the town as if the cold winter tragedy still lingers. Tragedy leaves its mark, but sometimes the horrors come from human cruelty itself, as seen in the most brutal town in Colorado. Tincup was known as a place where the law didn't exist. Established in 1878, this town was so violent during the height of the gold rush that it earned the nickname Tincup, Colorado. The horrors of Tincup weren't about wandering spirits, but rather the violence of men. Desperate miners often settled disputes with pistols. The town sheriffs had incredibly short tenures, with many gunned down in shootouts before they could establish order. The Tincup Cemetery is filled with victims of violence and duels, reflecting its reputation for quick and brutal death. To this day, visitors report feelings of panic, threat, and profound fear, as if they are still standing in the blood-soaked Wild West. While Tincup was filled with blood, Gilman was abandoned due to poison, becoming an environmental horror story of the modern era. Known as a unique ghost town, Gilman wasn't abandoned because of economic failure. This mining town, founded in 1886 on a steep canyon, produced millions of dollars in lead and zinc. However, intensive mining permanently contaminated the surrounding groundwater and air. As a result, in 1986, the town was declared a Superfund zone and left behind. Today, Gilman is a forbidden ghost town, filled with dilapidated buildings and toxic substances, giving birth to a new kind of horror, not just ghosts, but the real danger of poisoning. It stands as a symbol of a failed civilization, abandoned in the mountains. From the toxic ruins, we move to a town that is still alive, but carries a weighty historical burden. Central City, a historic town saved from extinction by the gambling industry, is often called the richest square mile on Earth. However, behind the neon lights of the casinos and modern hotels, remnants of spirits from the gold rush era still linger. The terror here comes from the contrast, the ghosts of tragic pasts interacting with modern-day gamblers. The Grand Central City Opera House, over a century old, is known to be haunted, home to the spirits of former miners and actresses who refuse to leave. Those working night shifts often report hearing disembodied voices, footsteps, and shadowy apparitions in the casino halls that were once 1800s-era buildings. Not far from the glitter of Central City lies a town that failed to rise again, leaving behind a legacy of profound loss. Once a bustling silver mining town with a population of over 3,000, Caribou's story is one of repeated failure. It was struck by a devastating fire in 1879, destroying much of its buildings, and efforts to rebuild resulted only in a slower decline. Today, Caribou is mostly just ruins, scattered across the wilderness. Its horror is melancholic, a deep sense of loss. A place once full of life now stands in silence, further intensified by the tales of spirits guarding the remnants of former glory. Next, let's climb higher, toward towns where the thin air holds dark secrets, where isolation becomes a fear in itself. First, there's Alta, a ghost mining town at an elevation of over 11,000 feet. Built to serve the nearby Alta mine, it was dramatically abandoned after a factory fire in 1948. The economic problems faced by the town couldn't be resolved either. Its remote and high-altitude location makes it a quiet and cold place. The horror of Alta lies in its pure isolation, where visitors often feel completely cut off from the outside world, as if they are the last humans left, trapped among the fragile wooden ruins. Moving away from extreme altitudes, we head to a more well-known area. Estes Park, while a bustling resort town, is home to Seven Keys Lodge, previously known as Baldpate Inn. For those unfamiliar, this lodge is unique for its vast collection of keys, but its true horror stems from its original owners. The founding couple, Gordon and Ethel Mace, refused to leave the place they loved. Their spirits are known to be possessive, often appearing and having strange habits. They despise cigarettes and alcohol. Yes, guests have reported a variety of odd occurrences. Cigarettes mysteriously disappear or are extinguished, and their alcoholic drinks are spilled without explanation. These intrusive, possessive spirits add a unique layer of fear, different from mere shadowy apparitions. Meanwhile, far in another part of the state, Dearfield holds a unique and tragic place in Colorado's history. Founded in 1910 by Oliver Toussaint Jackson, this was an agricultural settlement entirely inhabited by African Americans. The town represented hope and prosperity for its residents. However, a severe drought in the 1920s destroyed the land and shattered their dreams, forcing the residents to leave. The horror of Dearfield is about the destruction of hope and ambition. The remaining buildings today stand as silent monuments to a community that struggled hard, only to be defeated by natural conditions. The place is draped in sadness, as if the spirits of the community still linger in the dry fields they once dreamed of cultivating. The stories of failure bring us to a hidden canyon, where a small town has been frozen in time. Located in the remote Clear Creek Canyon, Vicksburg is known as a beautifully preserved ghost town. It reached its peak as a silver mining community in the 1880s, but was quickly abandoned. The horror of Vicksburg lies in its deliberate isolation. Visitors often feel as though they've wandered into an open-air museum, where life ceased in the 19th century. The sense of being cut off from the modern world, combined with the fragility of its old buildings, creates a chilling atmosphere where visitors feel not only as if they are observing the past, but also being watched by it. And yes, mining history is never far from tragedy, as seen in this town. Cripple Creek, like Central City, was saved by gambling. It became the heart of the gold rush in the 1890s, bringing in billions in wealth. Today, the town is known for having over 100 supposedly haunted locations. In addition to the famous St. Nicholas Hotel, which is haunted by the spirits of children and nurses from a burned-down hospital, Cripple Creek is filled with ghosts tied to the greed and swift deaths of the gold rush era. Walking through the streets feels like moving between two worlds, the grandeur of modern casinos and the dark shadows of the mining era, full of despair. From the wealth of Cripple Creek, we turn to a town named Ashcroft. Some may already know it as a unique ghost town, positioned near the modern riches of Aspen, creating a striking contrast. Despite heavy investment, this silver town failed miserably by the late 1880s. Today, Ashcroft consists of relatively well-preserved wooden ruins, surrounded by stunning mountains. The horror here comes from the eerie silence, an unnatural stillness. According to local legends, the spirits here are believed to be those who perished from disease, starvation, and frustration from unfulfilled promises of wealth. Perhaps that's why the town leaves behind such a deep energy of sadness. Next, let's head south to a rugged town, one that is truly isolated and threatened by the harsh winter each year. Situated in the San Juan Mountains, Animas Forks is one of the most remote and hard-to-reach ghost towns. Founded in 1873, it can only be accessed in summer as it becomes completely cut off by snow in the winter months. As you can imagine, the horror here isn't just about apparitions or ghostly experiences, but rather the geographical isolation itself. Being here automatically brings a fear of limitations, where visitors are completely at the mercy of the environment. The buildings that remain today, like shipwrecks in the middle of the ocean, serve as reminders of how easily human life and existence can be erased. Leaving the isolation behind, let's now look at a town that still boasts remnants of its former grandeur. Perhaps many don't know it, but this is Silver Plume, a historic silver mining town. Although it still houses a few residents, paranormal activity in the town is still very strong. The horror here comes from a specific auditory experience. In addition to the common sightings of ghostly miners, visitors and locals frequently report hearing eerie music playing from empty buildings. The sounds are akin to the wails of miners who died in accidents, as if their voices are trapped in the surrounding Rocky Mountains. Finally, we return to the forgotten wilderness, where the town itself has nearly vanished. Like many towns of its kind, Teller City is a classic tale of boom and bust. This silver mining town thrived in the 1880s, reaching a population of 2,000, but was abandoned in just a decade. Visiting here is like experiencing the horror of total emptiness. Unlike St. Elmo, which still has many standing buildings, most of Teller City now only has stone foundations swallowed by the wilderness. The fear here comes from the realization that a place this large can disappear without a trace, conquered by nature, leaving an overwhelming sense of loneliness in the forest. We've now explored 15 places where Colorado's history feels cold, from the bloodthirsty madness of Tincup to the recorded cries of desperation in Independence. Each of these towns, whether preserved or reduced to rubble, serves as a museum for souls that never found peace. They prove that land promising wealth often delivers only sorrow and eternal horror. In the end, every ruin, every creaking door, serves as a reminder that not all souls in the Rocky Mountains have found peace. Be cautious when you visit these remote corners of Colorado.